Hey folks, I am Becky with Enduring Finances. Welcome back to another monthly update. Today we are going to be taking a look at the month of May and what happened in my personal life, in my business, and just everything in general. Overall, I think May was a very positive month for me. I feel like I got a lot of work accomplished behind the scenes that most people don't even know is going on. And I also was able to take a lot of time and spend it with people that I care about and go on some adventures and spend some time doing a little bit of new photography work and just having a lot of fun with that. So I think May was pretty great. One of the things I ended up spending a little bit of money on was bringing in an electrician. I've had a lot of electrical issues with this house. I bought this house was built in the 60s, and most of the wiring is a little bit outdated and needs to be updated, and I knew that going into it. I first had an outlet go out in my kitchen that ran to my refrigerator, and I attempted to fix that on my own because I know like this much about electrical work, and tried to replace it, did all the wiring on it, did not work. So I was like, oh crap. And then I had a section of my garage/gym area stop working, and I thought it was due to a break in the wiring or something happened with that. And so I brought an electrician, and they found that there was a short, like a negative wire that was loose in the fan that's in there, and he was able to climb around and take a look, and his overall recommendation is that I redo all of the electrical work, especially in that gym area, and get it all fixed in the future. But that is a long way off. So we spent about $160 for that in total, and he was here for maybe an hour, not over an hour, close to an hour I think, because he spent a little bit of time looking for that negative wire. And we even had a discussion, if he didn't find it within that time frame, that I would nix it, because if he goes above an hour looking for this, then it goes into $300, and if I'm going to redo the wiring anyways, I might as well save that additional money and put it towards redoing all of the wiring at a future date. So that was my negative for the month of May, but my electrical is up and running now. My fridge is good to go. I was running an extension cord through my kitchen for a while there, which is not good, but my fridge needed to work. So I'm still working on my weight loss journey and becoming healthier and more active in my lifestyle. I definitely hit a plateau in April and the very beginning of May that I was just hitting the same number on the scale no matter what I did, it felt like, and I really felt stuck. And I think the interesting thing is to keep in mind, like, when you're trying to actively lose weight, like, your body is fighting you the entire time because it's going against what the body naturally does, which is, maintain and retain energy. And so you're trying to burn that energy. So you're doing like double the work trying to do it. And I think the cool thing about human bodies is they are very, very adaptable to situations. And their body over time adjusts and like accumulates, acclimates to that area. So like I remember when I was in Hawaii and I finally got used to like 65 degrees was like fantastic. If it got to 70, I was hot. Here in Idaho, 70's fine, 80's fine, 100 is hot. It just, your body naturally changes, and the same thing goes on with working out and resistance training. If you do the same program with the same weights over and over and over again, your body finally gets used to that amount, and it knows the effort that it needs to put out, and so it ends up not having to put out as much energy because it gets used to that, and it builds up to the ability that it's not as hard to do the same thing. And so I think it's really good that I switched up my training style and have put more focus on endurance and lengthy events now, more so than strength training. And the only reason that I'm doing that in that specific way is because I am trying to train for Mount Bora at the end of June, and that is going to kick my bum regardless of how hard I train. Like, I'm worried that I won't be in good enough shape to be able to do it without like severely compromising my like respiratory system, because it is a very, very steep hike. So I've definitely put a lot more emphasis on training hills and training distances with a pack, because I'll have to carry everything up the mountain and down the mountain in the same day. So changing that has helped. I finally hit my 40-pound weight loss goal, we are almost halfway to my overall goal, and I'm slowly starting to see the scale mimic the work that I've been putting in, and we are still continuing to lose slight inches off of the hips, the thighs, all the things in that area. So we are moving forward with that, and I'm very happy to see that. One of the fun things that I did splurge on in May is I finally bought a paddleboard, and this has been on my bucket list for over a year now. I got birthday money last year for it specifically, and it just wasn't in the price range yet. And then I was kind of debating, do I want a kayak or do I want a paddleboard? And I was kind of stuck on that for a little bit. And I finally figured out that they make paddleboards that have seats that you can attach and form it into a kayak. It's not the exact same as a regular kayak, but it gets the best of both worlds, and I'm not going to be like doing any crazy rapids on it, so I think it's perfect for me. And so of course naturally I had to break it out and take it to Lake Lowell in Idaho and give it a spin around, and it is difficult. I'd done legs. I did legs before I did this, which was a bad idea because it taxed my core doing legs naturally. Squats, deadlifts, they all engage that posterior chain. And so then I went and I was getting adjusted to it and still need to work on standing up on it. I got up a couple times and it was really wobbly in my body. My core was like, I'm done. So I ended up taking it after about 30-40 minutes of going around on my knees to standing, to knees to standing. I turned it into a kayak and went out exploring for a little bit and absolutely loved it. So I got this kayak for $260, a great deal. Most of the kayaks are selling around here for about the same, almost $300 without the kayak attachment. So I'm very happy about this setup, and I hope to kind of configure it to do a little bit of fishing off of it in the end, but more will come on that as I get more confident with my ability on it and standing up on it and fishing off of it. So big month on spending as far as electrical and investing in something that I want to, and knowing that I've been saving for a year to get this paddleboard. I ran into another negative that was quite a surprise for me. So I've been talking about trying to get this garden started and showing you all that process. So I cleaned up all of the muck and just crap, literally crap, that had been piled in the garden area. And I got this done before Memorial Day weekend because we had a bunch of rain coming in. And I started to till the garden, which is basically like, imagine like a rototiller going through and just like spinning up all the dirt and like just bringing new soil to the surface. Well, I started doing that, and I hit what I thought was a rock, and then it was a bigger rock, and then I finally realized that this was not a rock, and it was some type of slab of concrete or something similar that ended up being 11 feet long, and I think it's about 5 feet wide. It's only a few inches thick, but it's going to be really heavy, and it takes up more than half of my garden space. So when the weather clears up a little bit, I'm going to go and dig around it and see if I can figure out exactly what it is. At first I thought it was going to be a septic tank, and I was really scared about that because I did not want to deal with that. I don't think it's that. I'm not sure what it is. There's been some suggestions. One of them is take a sledgehammer to it and disintegrate it in pieces and remove it. The other one is to move my entire greenhouse on top of it. We're still figuring that out. So the garden is going to be small this year, which is unfortunate, but we're still going to get it up and going and try and make the most of what we can in this situation and make a positive out of it and see what happens with that. So as far as the business side of things, we are seeing up and up with the finance website. Overall, we made $4.77 for the entire month. So I finally figured out what's going on with the ads. I know part of the revenue that I was seeing before was over $500 per 1,000 views, and I'm determining that these are coming from people clicking on those ads. I'm still getting a small amount for people viewing the ads, but the majority of this money is coming from people clicking on the ads. And that's okay, like you do you. If you're interested in it, do it. So it ended up $4.77 off of ads on the website alone. And then I did sell another print, and we made $6.71 for a 5x7 print that was sent out, and that is taking out all of the operational cost of printing it and shipping it. So That's our take-home pay, not including the taxes that I will still pay on this. As far as investments go, we are on the up and up. We saw a slight increase in my portfolio overall. Right now we're sitting about $30,000 in that portfolio, so a little bit up from last month. I have $2.93 in cash on hand in that portfolio to reinvest. And then my lending club is down to $162, which is pretty good. As far as returns that we saw for May, I earned $66.79 in dividends. I will make a video next week breaking down all the dividends that I earned and how I reinvested the dividends from last month into the stock market again. We saw a return of $1.77 from lending club, as that is trickling down. And then, of course, the new addition, the high yield savings account, where we brought in $6.17 for right around $5,000 in that account, bringing our total investing returns to $74.73. And then, of course, getting into that additional income, like I said, I took some time off and spent some time with family and friends and exploring, and then some photography work, so I did not do as much work on the side hustle side of things, but we still brought in $200 from donating plasma and $214 from doing Lime scooters. Now, I think June is going to be a big month specifically for Rover. I've got quite a few bookings set up for dog walking, not walking, dog sitting, and that should be a good way to boost that income up a little bit, and then hopefully continuing with the plasma. We did have a hiccup with that. Part of the thing with weight loss is you want to make sure that you're getting enough protein in, because that is like your primary source of building muscle and a very key component to losing weight and maintaining the muscles that you have. And they do essentially a 3 or 4 month blood test when you donate plasma to make sure that your protein levels are high enough for you to be able to donate safely. My last one came back as a little low, just slightly low, and so I had to retake it and then wait for the results. And so hopefully we should be back up and running and increase my protein levels just a little bit to make sure that I am being safe with everything that I'm doing. And full steam ahead, hopefully, fingers crossed. We're looking like June is going to be a fantastic month with some adventures. I did have a client, a photography client, we're going to call him a client, that requested some photographs from northern Idaho, which I didn't really have. So we are making a trip to northern Idaho this month. I've got everything set up and almost planned out completely on spots that I want to hit. And I think that is going to be very exciting. And then, of course, ending the month with Mount Bora. Hopefully I can summit that. I did run into a gentleman on a hike who has done Bora quite a few times, and he was talking to me about what to expect and like how far you should get before the sun rises, leaving at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then Chicken Out Ridge, of course. And he was like, it's not that bad. He was like, it's like as wide as the trail that we're on, like you're fine. So I'm feeling a little bit more confident as far as that aspect of it. Now it's just getting my physical fitness there and my cardiovascular up to where it needs to be to complete the hike without dying. But I think that's about it. I am feeling very good, very focused, very driven, and I feel like I know exactly where I'm going, and now the only thing I have to do is to execute it and to try and have fun in the process. Remember to have fun in the process, because I'm very serious. I'm a very serious person. I see my goal, I want my goal, and I kind of like blinders on, and I have to remember to stop, look around, and enjoy the moment. So hopefully you all can do the same and have some fun, have your own adventures in June, and make sure that you're saving your money and investing your money and planning for your future. And I will see you next time, guys. Bye.